Now, in a world that is becoming increasingly more toxic, where narcissists are out to drag you in and seduce you, to take advantage of you, to use you mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. And if narcissists can't use you in these ways, then they try to put you down, to demean you, devalue you, to overpower you, to dominate you. Now, it's not enough anymore that we simply learn the red flags so that you can have an answer against narcissists. As you heal from toxic relationships, I believe it's important that you also learn that you yourself must be able to answer to a higher power, a higher authority, a higher level of integrity that is keeping you straight in life. This may be the one thing that saves you from being tangled up in a narcissistically abusive situation. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I begin, I want to thank those of you who have supported me by sponsoring me to rappel down 19 stories in less than 25 days now. I'm going to be facing my fear of heights thanks to you. If you have not already, follow me on Instagram at @JoinTheRoyalWe, where I'm sharing some stories and some videos, and I'm going to be sharing about my journey as I overcome this fear. And there's still time if you would still like to support and sponsor me as I face this fear. You can find the link to that down below. And also you'll find the link to my Instagram and all kinds of other good stuff. Now then, in this world that is increasingly more toxic, where, as I said, narcissists are out there to drag you into their world of drama. Now, it's important to understand that narcissistic people do not care about you as an individual. They look at you as an object that can be used for their purpose, their own selfish needs and desires. And it's for this reason they form a relationship with you so they can use you physically, they can use you emotionally, mentally, financially. And now, it's not enough to have an answer to them or an answer against them, because all this oftentimes does is open up the door to debate and to argue with a narcissistically abusive person. For example, if a coworker of yours who is very narcissistic comes to you and tries to get you wrapped up in some shady dealings within the company that you're not comfortable with, it's oftentimes not enough for you to just say, listen, I don't know if I want to do this because it might not be right. My manager might find out, because a narcissist will be great at coming back at you saying, they'll never find out. Are you kidding me? Come on, we got this, right? Or a narcissistic person who desires to use your body, who wants to have sex with you, who wants you to fulfill that need in them, and you're uncomfortable with it. And you might be saying, listen, we haven't known each other that long. I don't know if I'm that comfortable. See, you've opened up the door for a smooth talking narcissist to be able to say, come on, you're no spring chicken, neither am I. Come on, let's have fun. How long has it been for you since you've had any? Come on, it'll feel good. You'll enjoy it, whatever the case may be. So it's not enough to be able to have answers on a human level that narcissists can debate and argue with you. Let's say you're with a group of friends and they want to go drinking at some club and they ask you to drive, and you've had a couple of drinks and you're like, listen, I don't want to drive. I'm not comfortable. Right? Narcissistic friends, they don't care. They're going to say, you're fine. You've had less than anybody. You could drive. You're fine. Don't worry about it. No, let me call a cab. No, don't call a cab. That's dumb. You can drive. Here, take the keys, get in the car, go, let's go. Right? It happens. These things, these wild, unbelievable things happen with narcissistically abusive people. Why? Because they don't care about you. They only care about themselves and what they're getting in that moment. And this is why it's important that you don't have words against them. It's not about just the red flags and having words against them. You need to be able to have words that show you answer to a higher power, a higher authority, because that is something that they can't argue against. They might make fun of you, they might leave you, but they cannot break that. How can they have an answer for that? I want to share a story with you out of the ancient literature of the Bible. A very popular ancient literature character named Joseph. You might have heard of him, Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, ended up being the slave of one of the most powerful men in Egypt at the time. And by the way, Egypt was the hot spot of the ancient world. Egypt was like the Las Vegas of the world back then, right? Anybody who was everybody was in Egypt. And the second in command, Potiphar, had Joseph as a slave. And now Joseph became very favorable to Potiphar. But Joseph also became very attractive to someone else, Potiphar's wife. It says in the ancient literature that Potiphar's wife noticed Joseph, noticed that he was handsome and well-built, is the exact words in the ancient literature. What does that mean? It means the dude was a beefcake. Hot stuff. And Potiphar's wife looked at Joseph and said, "Dang, boy, I want a piece of that." She didn't care about Joseph. She didn't care about his background. She didn't care what or who or where he came from. None of that. She objectified Joseph as being an it, which is what narcissists do in your life. They objectify you as being an it, and then they say to themselves, "I want it." That's all there is to it. And now she tried to seduce Joseph. She said, "Joseph, come sleep with me. You're hot. I want you." And she probably tried every which way to seduce him. She probably took all of her clothes off, got naked, did some Egyptian yoga, said, "Oh, Joseph, come here. Hey, hot boy, come over here." Right? Now watch Joseph's response. Joseph said, "Listen, woman, listen. I am blessed here working as a slave for Potiphar. I take care of everything. He worries about nothing. I have been blessed here. Now, why would I do this thing you're trying to get me to do and sin against God?" There it is. There's that higher power, that higher authority that Joseph answers to. He knew, he had the wisdom to know that if he would have said, "Listen, woman, I don't want to do this because I don't want Potiphar to find out," she would have, in a narcissistic way, been able to argue. "Oh, please, Joseph, you have no idea. Let me tell you something. My husband Potiphar, he's not perfect. He's out sleeping with all kinds of Egyptian women. Come on, he's not going to care. Besides, we have an open marriage. That's kind of an Egyptian thing, you know, right now these days. We're all open. Yeah, don't worry about it. Come on, they'll never find out." You see what I'm saying? And then Joseph could have been, "Well, okay, if you say so, if your marriage is open, or you say you're kind of single, okay." And then that story could have really ended up very badly had Joseph gone through with that. But Joseph made the case. He made the point saying, "No, listen, why would I sin against God? God has given me favor with people. God is who I answer to. God is why I walk with integrity." So I'm not saying you need to believe in the God that Joseph believed in. I'm not saying you need to have that kind of faith, but you should have a form of integrity that is higher than a human level that can allow narcissists to argue with you. And narcissistic people cannot argue with you if you're talking about your integrity, your moral standards. The reason in which you are saying no is because of your moral integrity, not because of, well, so-and-so might find out or this person might be mad. Because if it's on the human level, narcissists will debate and argue with you. So in your healing journey, discover a higher form of integrity for yourself. This is your answer from now on in dealing with narcissistic people. No, I'm not going to do that. That goes against what I answer to. Narcissists cannot, sure, they won't like you, right? As we know in the story of Joseph, he got thrown in jail. She lied about him, which then again just proves that she didn't care about him. And narcissists will discard you as well. But so what? It's better they discard you right away than it is you getting tangled up with them and then discarded later, which is what they're going to do anyways. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. I want to help you to understand these concepts even more. Down below, you can find access to one-on-one appointments with me. You can schedule a FaceTime or a WhatsApp video call, a telephone call, or a text message call. There are links to my calendar directly down below in the description box. Also, you'll find access to Royal We live chat every Monday night and Royal We Fellowship live every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And yes, this is something we're talking about right now in Royal We Fellowship. So head on down there, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.